Hi, everyone. Pete Sardis for The Lawyer You Know. We've gotten some phone calls lately about the contaminated eye drop matter that you've kind of been seeing out in the news lately. So I wanted to take a few minutes and do a video and tell you all about what's going on, kind of give you a history about where this started, what has been identified, and kind of where it's going. And I also want to just discuss what the risks are and what you should be doing if you're using these eye drops. All right. With that, let's get into it. There has been a contamination of eye drops, most recently marketed under ezricare eye drops. They're sometimes called artificial tears. So this is the kind of product that we are talking about. And these particular eye drops have been linked to a drug-resistant bacteria by the name of Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Now, Pseudomonas aeruginosa is a bacteria that normally inhabits dirt. It's found in soil, it's found in vegetation, it's found in water out in the wild. And normally the way that somebody's infected by Pseudomonas aeruginosa is because of improper hygiene. In other words, they touch something that was infected, and because their hands are unclean, or because the medical equipment or the surfaces that are being used are not properly disinfected, the bacteria gains access to the body. Now, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, I did some research, apparently kills people all over the world every year. This is not strange that this bacteria is dangerous. It is well known. What's interesting is that this particular strain that we're talking about that is involved in these eye drops is a strain that has never been linked to an outbreak in the United States before. The Center for Disease Control has identified that this particular strand of the bacteria has never been seen in the United States before. So it is a foreign bacteria that has gained entrance into the United States through the eye drops that are being marketed to you and to me. What's really bad about this, guys, is that you cannot treat this bacterial infection with normal antibiotics. You don't just go to the doctor and they give you a little bottle of whatever and you take your pills and you're better in 7 days. This bacteria is immune to those antibiotics, which means if you contract this, you have to go to a doctor. They're most likely going to hospitalize you. You're going to be on intravenous medication. There's a very good chance that you may require surgical intervention in order to beat this bacterial infection. So it's very serious. This is not, I got something that my doctor gave me a pill for and it went away in 5 days. It's far more serious than that. Let me tell you how serious it is. The known risks are loss of vision, the loss of an eye, and death. Yes, people have died. Those deaths have been linked to these eye drops. So what do we know? The FDA, Food and Drug Administration, learned about an outbreak here in the US in December of 2022. So they wound up doing their research and they kind of go backwards to try to identify any causal connections between the people that have been infected and what, any commonalities so that they can determine what caused the infection to enter their bodies. And it was learned that the infection came from a brand of artificial tears eye drops from a company called Global Pharma Healthcare. So what they did is they contacted, meaning the FDA, contacted Global Pharma Healthcare, and they communicated to them about this particular connection. And Global Pharma Healthcare takes the eye drops that they believe might be affected off the market in February. So from between December and February, they continue to sell these particular eye drops. The main brand names of these eye drops that we're talking about are ezricare, Delsum, Epitex, and Pharmedica. Now, here's the hard part. I understand that there are actually about 10 different name brands of these particular eye drops that have been identified to be potentially contaminated. And I believe that this particular company, Global Pharma Healthcare, actually produces eye drops and artificial tears for house brands. In other words, when you go to your local grocery store and you buy Kroger brand whatever, or you buy Walmart brand whatever, that particular brand of product is normally made by someone else, some company that makes a name brand product also. So what my suggestion is, I'm trying to get the names of all these things, but you should go to your eye drops if you use them. And you should look at the back of the bottle and determine whether or not your eye drops, your artificial tears say global pharma healthcare on them? And if they do, stop using them. We'll talk about that in a second, what you should do. So let's talk generally about the FDA and what we know. The problem with eye drops is, for the most part, and especially the ones that we're talking about here, these artificial tears, are not an FDA approved product. There is no FDA regulation on these eye drops. The reason is there's kind of a loophole, in my opinion, that allows pharma companies to market over-the-counter products to you and me that are not regulated by the FDA, which is how you get this exact set of circumstances, where a medical product is contaminated with a deadly bacteria and sold to you and me. So there are about 10 different brands. Again, ezricare, Delsum, Epitex, Pharmedica. And if you look at the bottom of your house brand eye drops and it says Global Pharma Healthcare, you should stop using that product. Let's talk about how the infection gets into the body. Well, they're eye drops, right? So when you introduce the eye drop into your eye, you're introducing, if the bottle obviously is contaminated, that bacteria into your eye, at which point the bacteria starts to spread and multiply. As the bacteria, passes through the body, you start seeing it in places like your mucus, for example, your spit. You'll see it there. You'll see it in the kind of the goo that comes out of our eyes. It's identified there, and as it kind of goes through your body, it actually shows up in your urine as it multiplies and kind of infects the host. There are a lot of symptoms, and they're kind of all over the place, but here are the symptoms: eye irritation, redness in the eyes or the eyelids, pus in the eyes that is yellow, green, or a clear discharge from the eye, a high fever, pain in the eyes, the sensation that there's something in the eye, but you can't see it, increased sensitivity to light, and blurry vision. Guys, if you have any of these symptoms and you've been using eye drops or artificial tears that meet the standards that I just told you, are either one of these branded products or a house brand produced by Global Pharma Healthcare, you need to stop using those eye drops immediately. If you have any of these symptoms, you need to seek medical attention. I'm not being overdramatic. People died from this bacteria that has been linked to this contaminated product. You need to seek medical attention. Hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully they just give you a different eye drop to clear up your irritation. But if you have these things and you've got the fever, you've got the pain in your eyes, and it is this particular bacteria, you're probably going to be hospitalized. You also have to understand that this particular bacteria is contagious. You could spread it to other people. You could give it to your loved ones and your friends, at which point they could have a reaction to it, even though they don't use the eye drops and they don't have the causal connection in their head that they should seek medical attention. So please, if you use these eye drops and you're seeing these symptoms, go seek medical attention. The manufacturer says that you should discard any remaining product, just throw it away. I'm going to tell you something different. If you're using these eye drops, stop using them and put them somewhere safe. Put them away so that you don't accidentally use them, so that no one else in your household accidentally uses them, or your children can't access them. Put them somewhere away safe and just wait. If unfortunately you suffer an infection and you are hospitalized, or if something happens to you, you're going to need to have that little bottle of eye drops so that it can be tested, so that they can verify the bacteria, they can verify where the bacteria came from, and we can have the causal chain of events that demonstrate that you purchased a brand of eye drops that was contaminated and it caused you damages. So that's really why I'm telling you to do this. Let me just say that it's kind of funny right now, and I'll share with somebody that don't know, that don't live in Florida. Florida is having some very large tort reform right now. And what that means is, here in Florida, legislature is passing rules that limit people's ability to bring lawsuits. And this is the kind of stuff that kind of makes me, I will say, cringe. It annoys me, because when big companies do things that hurt people, how does that stop? It stops because people get hurt those people hire lawyers, and those lawyers sue those big companies. And the fear of lawsuits is what's keeping people safe. That's what makes product safety, from seatbelts all the way to the FDA regulation of products, occurs because lawyers sued manufacturers and said, if you're going to put a product on the market, it's got to be safe. If it's not safe, it's on you, and we're coming after you for the damages. And it annoys me because the average person probably doesn't have the wherewithal and the financial assets to go after large companies to bring claims for their damages. So the reality is, if it wasn't for trial lawyers, most of the people that are injured by negligent products wouldn't be able to find some sort of redress in the courts and to get some sort of relief. And let's talk about the relief I'm discussing. Let's just discuss what the damages are. I hinted to it earlier. I did some research before I prepared for this video, and it looked like there was a person who had died, a person who had lost an eye, and about 50 infections nationwide. The numbers I just told you about were the ones that are actually causally connected to contaminated eye drops with this bacteria. I did a little bit of update yesterday before I did this video this morning. And at this point, there is another death that has been reported that is causally linked. 8 additional people have been blinded. They can no longer see and will never see again because of this bacterial infection. And 4 additional people have had to have their eyeball surgically removed from their head. That's how serious this bacterial infection is, and it's growing. There are, like I said, 10 different brands of artificial tears eye drops that have been linked to this: ezricare, Delsum, and pharma eye drops made by the Indian-based company Global Pharma Healthcare. Again, if you look at the bottom of your little bottle and it's it says Target or it says Walmart brand, or I don't care what it says, and it says Global Pharma Healthcare on the back of it, stop using it. Don't take the risk. Beyond that, if you feel that you have been a victim of these particular contaminated eye drops, if you have symptoms and you go to the doctor and they tell you that you have contracted this particular Pseudomonas aeruginosa strain and you have damages, call me. I am happy to talk to you about it. I am happy to walk you through the process and what you should expect to see over the course of the next, gosh knows how much time. I know that we do these videos and it's entertaining to a lot of people who are lawyer, but please understand, we are a fully functional personal injury law firm. We represent people every day. This is just something that gets done kind of as a benefit to our subscribers, to the general public, to give you information, to bring legal knowledge to you. So if you have these types of eye drops, if you have an infection, or if you have any other injury claim that you have questions about, pick up the phone, give me a call, shoot us an email, let us know, and we are happy to speak with you, and we're happy to kind of help guide you through the process and what you should be doing. So with that, if you got the eye drops, get rid of them, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching another episode of The Lawyer You Know. If you enjoyed the episode, please hit the thumbs up and share with your friends who may be interested here on YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at Tragos Law is our handle. And don't forget to listen to the Lawyer You Know podcast featuring new episodes every week. If you have a case you want to talk to us about, if it's a personal injury case, wrongful death, catastrophic injury, car accident, or slip and fall case, please email us at lawyeryouknow@gmail.com. And of course, all these links I just mentioned are included in the description below on this episode and every episode. So until next time, this is Peter Tragos, the Lawyer You Know.